Well, good golly, Miss Molly. This is Tenacious Earl, and here we are back at the game table after what seems like an eternity. It has been a long, long time since I've put anything out here on the channel, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But first, we really should get a game done here, right? It's been a long time, and I'm going to bring it back to the Diamond King project here. We were on game 13. That's where we're leaving off. So this is the 14th team to be involved in this, and it's going to be kind of weird if we get to the 15th team and the Indians finish out the project, because that will barely be at the halfway point. That my anybody who's watching this for the first time, my vision for this project was to have a team go on a 6-game winning streak, or if you want to think of it a little differently, it's a king of the hill. So to be able to defend the king of the hill 5 times in a row, after the 5th one, that is when they would be crowned the Diamond Kings, and I thought we would at least get once through the roster of teams, but we're getting close a second time here with the Indians. They have been playing pretty well, and they're up against the Brewers now, so this would be their 4th defense if they can win, and the Brewers are not very good. And Cody Anderson is going to go for the Indians. He's their 5th starter, and he has pretty good numbers, so he'll be going up against Jimmy Nelson for the Brew Crew, who is their best pitcher. And he ended up with a 4.11 ERA compared to 3.05 for Anderson. So we can take a look here at... Oh, that's not the one I wanted to look at. I wanted to bring it over to this. That better? Yes. So it would be the Devil Rays. Well, the Tampa Bay Rays will meet the winner of this game. And if it's the Indians, that would be for the Tenacious Diamond King title. So, and that would mean that the Indians would get Kluber back. So, yeah. Interesting. Yes, maybe. All right, so let's get this game done, and then I'll talk a little bit about the last probably 3-4 weeks, it seems like, since I've done a live stream. Okay, for the Brewers, their optimal lineup. Again, these are... I'm going to stand up because I've been sitting for a while here. The rosters are at season's end, so certain guys won't be involved that were traded mid-season. I'm thinking, is it Carlos Gomez was one of those players for the Brewers. Of course, the Indians had a couple guys. I think they traded someone to the Cardinals, and that is escaping me. But and if I keep trying to think of it here, I'm not going to get the game done. So these are end-of-season rosters. I've kind of tried to clear out injuries, although we do pick up injuries during the project itself. So if we roll an injury on the card, then we do the roll and everything to determine the severity, although I do use a little bit of a modified format for that. So Scooter Gennett will be leading off and playing second base, and it'll be Jonathan Lucroy catching, and Ryan Braun in right. At first base will be Adam Lind, and he'll be the cleanup hitter. Chris Davis, left fielder. Jason Rogers will be the DH. We're in an AL park, so we go with the DH. Gene Segura, shortstop. Domingo Santana in center, and Hernan Perez at third base. And just to go through the Indians lineup, 2 changes. The rest roll meant that Urshela and Almonte needed the day off, so it's going to be a lineup, basically the same lineup as 2 games ago, which is going to be Kipnis at second, Francisco Lindor at short, Michael Brantley in center, Carlos Santana at first, Ryan Rayburn in left field, right fielder Lonnie Chisenhall will bat sixth, and then Yan Gomes behind the plate. Chris Johnson will be the DH, and Jose Ramirez will be the third baseman. So let's go ahead and get this game started. Anderson against Jeanette to lead off game. This is the Indians' 5th game, looking for their 4th defense of the King of the Hill. And it's going to be a grounder to Santana, and he will get the unassisted put out. It's 1 out. Yeah. Okay. LaCroix. 3-3. That's going to be a grounder to Lindor, and he chucks it across the diamond for the second out. I got to move my card. The card discard pile there, so I have room. So the 3-3 is an out, and now it will be Ryan Braun, and it's a 4-8. That's a pop up. It's going to be Ramirez underneath that, and he will make it a 1-2-3 inning for the Indians as they put down the top 3 from the Brewers. Okay, so Nelson against Kipnis. Bottom of the first. That is a 4-7. And it's going to be a fly ball into right, and that'll be caught by Braun. Of course, the current playoffs in full swing in baseball. I haven't been following them too much. It's a 1-12. That's a grounder to first baseman Lind. And he will make the easy play. Now Michael Brantley. 3-9, another grounder to Lind. And so both teams go down in order, and we'll go to the second. So I'm just kind of taking a look here to see. It looks like we have a couple viewers on here. Hello. So speaking of Lind, he's going to lead off the second here for the Brew Crew. 6-6. Struck him out. Chris Davis. 2-6. He's going to draw a walk. That'll be the first guy on base. Now Jason Rogers with 1 out. Runner at first. 6-7. That's a ground ball to Kipnis. 3-3. Let's take a look at the second baseman. That is going to be a single with 1 base advance. So first and second with 1 out. And it's going to bring up Gene Segura. That is a 1-5. And that's a fly ball to center field. Will be caught by Brantley, and retreating will be Davis. 2 down now, and Domingo Santana. 5-2. That's a hot shot right at Lindor. And the top of the second is finished. And we'll go to the bottom, and it'll be Santana, followed by Rayburn and Chisenhall. Okay, Santana 2-4. And it's a ground ball to Jeanette. And that's 1 down. Easy play for him. Rayburn 2-7. Fly ball in the left field. Caught by Chris Davis. And now Lonnie Chisenhall 1-5, and that's a 2-out single. First hit of the game for the Indians, and it'll be Gomes, who has been one of the big heroes so far for Cleveland. Can he come through again here with 2 outs? Runner on first. 4-2. Nope, that's going to be a fly ball into center, and it's going to be caught out there by Domingo Santana, and no runs, 1 hit and 1 left. So through 2, no score. Bottom of the order for the Brewers, it will be Perez to lead off. 4-7. 5% chance at a single. He needs a 1 will get it, but it's a 3. It's the second time we've seen 3. That's a liner to Santana, and he dives and gets it, and that will turn it over, and Jeanette will come up. And the lefty scooter to 11, and that's a pop up. Kipnis underneath it and snares it. Now John LaCroix. 4-10. And that's another liner. This time to Kipnis. And quick inning for Cody Anderson. Bottom of the third. Chris Johnson leading off against Nelson. 2-8. Here is some goodness for the Indians. Johnson is going to get a 2-8, which is a 1-14 double. There's the 1. So a 2-bagger for Johnson. It's going to bring up Jose Ramirez. Could try playing small ball, or could let Ramirez go ahead and swing away. So runner at second, nobody out. 6-6. Well, that's going to be a walk. Sets up a double play. And it's going to be top of the order for Kipnis. One 7. Now it's a ground to third base. They're going to get the lead, not the lead runner. They'll get the runner going from first to second on the 5-4. As Perez gets that, it's going to be a fielder's choice, and that'll be 1 out. It's going to bring up Lindor. 2-10. And they would be playing with the infield back. This is going to be a grounder to Jeanette. It's going to start the double play, and this is going to get them out of the inning. A 4-6-3. And so Milwaukee dodges the bullet there. They had the runner at third with less than 2 outs, and it's a ground out. Lindor grounds into that, and we're going to go to the 4th with no score. Too early to be playing in there. If they had been playing in, that would have been a run. Okay. Third of the way through this 13th game on the 8th of October. That'll be Ryan Braun going up against Anderson here, leading off the 4th. 3-7, that's a grounded to Ramirez. And tosses it over in time. So Adam Lind. 3-7. 3-7 is a single. All right, runner aboard. 1 down. And the big guy, Chris Davis. Big hitter. We've seen him hit quite a few in the TBL 2.0 for Oakland. Can he do it here? That's a strikeout. That's another thing he's done a lot in that project. And now Jason Rogers. Another guy with some pop. That is a 3-8, and that's another strikeout. So 2 strikeouts in a row for Anderson. Clears up that lead, that 1-out single. And we're going to the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Brantley, followed by Santana and Rayburn. 410 is a single for Brantley. Now this guy is, he's an A, so he's a 1-13. I'm going to play hit and run here with Santana. Playing hit and run. Go off the hit and run chart. And that is an 8, 6-8. So 8 is a grounder to first and the runner advances. So I'm going to call that a U3 as Lynn. The only play is at the bag with the runner going. So now one out, runner at second. It's going to be Ryan Rayburn. (3-9) and a strikeout. So Nelson sees his way out of this, and it's Chisenhall with 2 down. 2-7, a grounder to third base. Perez throws all the way across, and that retires the Indians. Now we're going to the 5th. No score. Pitcher's duel in this one so far, and it's going to be Segura. 7-8-9. Segura, Santana, Perez. 2-9. And a 2-9 is a leadoff single for Segura. All right. So this would be a 1-12. Segura's going to try a straight steal here. 1-12. Oh, and he gets a chance at a throwing error, too. That's a stolen base. And now with a 1-3, you go... Or wait, no, that's in... that may only be in... let's see. So he was held. And that is, there's no throwing errors, it looks like, in basic. But that is a stolen base for Segura. Straight steal. And now it'll be Santana remaining up with a runner at second. 2-5. And this ball is crushed. 1-13 a homer. And it is gone. Domingo Santana with a big home run, 2-0. Brewers, as he takes Anderson deep, so the stolen base is icing on the cake for Segura. It wasn't necessary as Santana took him deep. And it is 2-0 Brewers in the 5th. So the first weak spot in the armor for Anderson. Now it'll be Perez with nobody out, nobody on. 5-9 is a grounder to second base. Kipnis makes the play. So one out. Back to the top of the order will be Jeanette. 2-9. It's a fly ball to center. Brantley parks beneath it, and he'll squeeze it for the out. Now LaCroix. 5-10. That's a grounder to third base, X, so that'll be Jose Ramirez. A 3 and a 13. Nobody on base, so that is an out, and that will put them down, but not before they get 2 runs on 2 hits. And Nelson now with a 2-run lead going to the bottom of the 5th. Here's Gomes. 2-6 fly ball left field. That's Davis with the catch. Now Chris Johnson, one of the 3 hits for the Indians thus far. They've spread him over the first 4 innings. 3-4. That's a strikeout. Is this the end of the road for Cleveland? They aren't really getting much off of Nelson here, and here's Ramirez. 6-2, fly ball to center field, and underneath it Santana, the hero for the moment, And that is a 1-2-3 inning going to the 6th. It's 2-0 Milwaukee. This would be an upset here. I know it's the 5th starter for Cleveland, but if you look at the numbers, Nelson, they're, I would say, at similar rates. Anderson, a little fewer hits given up, fewer strikeouts, but about the same rate of homers. So it's going to be Braun, top of the 6th. This may be the last inning for Anderson. We'll have to see. 5-6, fly ball to left field, and no problems for Rayburn with that one. It's going to be Lynn now. He's 1 for 2. 5-8, that's another fly ball, this time to right, and Chisenhall makes the play. And now Chris Davis. Struck out and walked. And at 1-5 is another strikeout. And Anderson gets 1-2-3. We may keep him in another inning. Without the pitcher spot hitting, you don't have to worry so much about. You just have to worry about their effectiveness. And so far, both pitchers have been pretty effective. Just a couple of blemishes for Anderson, though. Okay, Kipnis, bottom of the 6th. 2-run deficit going against Nelson here. 2-7. And he's going to draw a walk. Second time he's been on. It's going to bring up Lindor. 0 for 2. They could use a big hit from this guy. He hasn't really done much in this project for the Tribe. 4-12 is going to be a grounder to second base. The only play will be to first. And he's now 0 for 3. Here's Brantley with 1 down and a runner at second. He is 1 for 2. And he's going to get way underneath it, and it's going to be a pop-up, and it's going to be caught by Lind, and that's going to be the second out. It's going to be up to Carlos Santana here in the 6th. Runner in scoring position. Need to score him here. Need to start getting something together. 5-3. Grounder to first. So that's Lind. He's a 4. Here is a chance, maybe. 12. 4-12. Out with no runners. So if no runners are forced, runners hold. One or more runners forced. Batters. So that's an out, and that's going to be the end of the. And we'll call it 3-1. That's the fielder's choice roll on the fielder's chart. Okay, we're going to the 7th here. Still 2-0. And, we're going to stay with Anderson. He's kind of calmed it down. He's put down 6 in a row since the single home run duo. And it's going to be Jason Rogers, and it's going to be Segura and Santana who did the damage. 5-10. That's a grounder to Ramirez. I think Ramirez might have been the one that started this with the single on the. That's a 7. Third base. That's going to be an out. Okay, so Segura with 1 down. 2-5, and that's another single. Segura 2 for 3. With the lead, not going to go stealing. Here's Domingo Santana with the runner at first base. 6-7, grounder to second. This could be a double play depending on what happens with the roll here. Kipnis a 3. 3-12. No, that's going to be a force play. 4-6, Santana hoofs it out. And Cleveland will have to get their bullpen up and running here. And let's see, is anybody... They're going to get Jeff Manship warming up, but they're going to see if they can get Perez out here. Runner at first, 2 down. 3-7. That's a fly ball to left, and that will end the inning as Rayburn gets that 7th inning stretch. And what the heck? It's been a long time. Let's go ahead and take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root for the, I guess it's Indians. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Alright, so don't leave comments about that, at least. You can comment about the game. So Nelson is doing fine. 7th inning. I'm not gonna look to their bullpen quite yet. Rayburn, 5-7. Grounder to second base. This is Jeanette. He's a 3. 3 and 14 is a 1 base error. 3, second base 3, 14, 1 base error. E4, and there's a little bit of a glimmer. Nelson looks disgusted. The Brewers will get Corey Knable. Actually, no, it's going to be Michael Blazek is going to get warming up here. So, Rayburn at first. Here's Lonnie Chisenhall. 1-9. That's a single. And Rayburn will stop at second. So, how much farther do you want to let this go? Going to let Nelson. He's going out to the mound, settle him down. First and second, nobody out. It's going to be Gomes up. This guy has been trouble the whole series that they've been out here. Each game he's come up with something pretty big. Homer. Can he do it again? Here is Nelson facing Gomes. Yan Gomes. 5-9. Strikes him out. Big strikeout there. Chris Johnson. So Nelson was leaking a little bit of oil there, but now it looks like it's resealed. And now Chris Johnson. What do they have on the bench? They have Jerry Sands, not much of a threat there. Roberto Perez. They have Almonte and they have Urshela. I'll stick with Johnson for now. And at 1-6, guess what? That is tailor-made 6-4-3 double play. And that's going to end the inning. Johnson hits into the rally killer. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and only 1 left. All right, so bullpen time for Cleveland. Anderson gets a standing O, a really nice outing for him. Goes 7 innings, only gives up the 2 runs. Unfortunately, his offense is a little snake bitten at the moment. They're going to go with Jeff Manship here in the 8th. And I'm going to take a short little look here at something. Yeah, well, I think everything's good. I did see concurrent viewers, so. Alright, so it's going to be Jeanette facing Manship, and then LaCroix, and then Braun. Milwaukee looking for some insurance here in the 8th. And a 2-10 is going to lead to a grounder to Kipnis. The Brewers set down Blazek. They're going to bring up Jeremy Jeffries. Jonathan LaCroix. 2-8. 2-8's a 1-4 homer. It's a 5. So that's a double. And it's going to bring up Braun. So timely hit there for LaCroix. Now they got a runner in scoring position with Braun up. 6-6. That's a liner straight to Kipnis. And now Lind with 2 outs. 6-10. That's a grounder to Kipnis. So Kipnis involved in every single play there. Brewers strand the runner at second. And we're going to the bottom of the 8th. And it's going to be Jeremy Jeffries coming in here to try and get it to K-Rod. So, Jimmy Nelson, 7 innings pitched for him. I think he gave up 4 hits total. 2 walks. 1 error that he worked around. And it's going to be Jeffries. Facing Ramirez to lead off here in the 8th. And they're going to make a switch here. They're actually going to bring Ramirez back, and they're going to have Almonte come out here to lead off the inning. So Almonte going to lead off here against Jeffries. 5-7, grounder to second base. Jeanette a 3, 3-9, and that is the first out. Okay, I'm going to move him off to the side here so that I got to remember to fix the fielding at the end of the inning here. So Kipnis against Jeffries with 1 out, 3-7, that's a single. Tying run to the plate here. It's going to be Lindor. I don't know. Could give a thought to stealing here, but instead they're just going to swing away with Lindor. 6-9. Strikes him out. Brings up Brantley with 2 down. 4-7. 1-15 single. If it's a high number, it's a liner to second, and that will get them out of the inning. And it's a single. 1 base advance, so that's going to get Kipnis to second, and it's going to bring up Carlos Santana. Can the big boy bring about a timely hit here? That's right, Salvador. 7 strong innings by Nelson, and the bullpen is trying to lock it. Here we go, 2 down, first and second. Here is Santana. This guy can definitely put a charge in one. 3-10. That is going to score a run. It could be a triple, which would tie the game if it's a 1. Oh! Triple for Santana. The ball game is tied. Jeffries 2 out. Triple. Oh, that is a massive bad beat for Jeffries. And it's now 2-2 with a runner at third. Oh, Jimmy Nelson, great outing, and he gets burned by the, let's see, 3, let me make sure. 3-10, it's 1 triple, 2-20 single, Would have scored a run anyway, but they get 2, and that is heartbreak. They've got to get Cody Allen warming up here. Hoping, and they're also going to get, let's see, they're going to get, who's going to go in for the long? No, it's going to be Liam Hendricks if they don't. Wait, why is Liam Hendricks in this? He is not part of the Indian staff. I got him slid in there. He can't do anything. Make sure. 1, 2. Yeah, there we go. All right. Well, they're going to turn to Ryan Webb if this game stays tied. 2 outs. 2 outs. Rayburn up against Jeffries. 6-2, and that's a grounder to second base, and that's going to get Milwaukee out of a already troublesome inning. They give up the 2 to tie it. Joe Cleary says, yeah, dude's stuck in the yeah, he stayed behind in Cleveland. He was like, I want to get into this thing. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Battling a cold. This could go extras. I don't want to jinx it or anything, but okay, Rayburn makes the final out. Okay, now we've got to do a little bit of jockeying of the. So Almonte is going to stay in at center field. So he's going to be center field in the 9th. And so I'm going to cross out Ramirez. So bear with me as I change some things up here. Had to sacrifice Ramirez. It didn't actually benefit them at all, except somehow they still got the runs. Okay, so then Brantley's going to move to, let's see. He's going to have to move to the left. That's the only place he is rated, and he's going to actually drop to a 2 fielder, and so now you've got the left fielder Rayburn is going to move to right. Same rating. Chisenhall is going to move to third base, which he is rated for third base, but he's going to raise to a 3. Okay, so that's how it's going to work. Okie dokie. At the moment, they're refusing to lose. Okay, so because it's tied, it's going to be Webb. They'd like to win this without using Allen so they can use him in the next game. The Brew Crew, they're going to get Rodriguez warming up just in case, and they'll get Blazek back up again. And so it's going to be Webb for the Indians, taking over for Manship. All right. Fun times here at Progressive Field. It's Chris Davis, another guy who can park them. 4-3, grounder to first. So this is still Santana. He's a 3 and a 19 at first base. Oh, well, Santana good, Santana not so good. A 2-base error. Gets by him, goes into the stands, and Davis is going to make his way to second base on an E3. And a bad beat there for Webb. So Rodriguez still getting warmed up. Here's Jason Rogers. 4-9. Fly ball to center field B. It'll be caught by Almonte. 1 out. Segura 2 for 3. This guy is a pesky hitter. Runner in scoring position. 5-10. That's a pop out to third base. Big out. Now it's going to bring up the big guy, Santana. Another big guy. Another guy with some pop. I already saw him go out of here once. Let's see if he continues to like this park. 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. 3-7. Oh, that's a walk. It's going to get him to Perez, who's also pretty good on base. Well, he's not so good on base percentage. Not as good as Santana there. So first and second, 2 away. It's Perez. He does get some hits. 6-5. Oh no, Webb! That's his trouble spot. 6-5, 1-6 homer, double the rest. This is going to score the go-ahead run. It is a 2. That one is gone. That is a 3-run pop by Perez. The dude only had 1 home run. It is gone. Somehow it gets out of this park. 1 home run in 2015. But the way we do basic strat, everything counts. And that is a huge hit. That makes it a 3-run deficit, and that makes the fans in Cleveland start to hold their hats. And they're looking at the scoreboard and they're saying to themselves, is this it? Ryan Webb, disaster. And now it'll be top of the order, Jeanette. So, holy moly, 6-5. And then the low roll. And it's going to be K-Rod coming in here, 4-8. 4-8, that's a grounder to second. Not Jeanette, that's Kipnis. 12. And that's another out. That will be it. But, lordy, lordy, look out. Look out below. Here comes K-Rod. Feast or famine kind of guy. He can be good. He can be not so good. But they need 3 runs now, and they're bringing in a guy who can be electric. I think I jinxed the extra innings a little bit. All right, so we are. Oh, and those are unearned runs as well. Ryan Webb gets waylaid by the error. Santana completely whiffs when he goes to stab at that. Actually, I don't know. That's probably a grounder. Let's do it right. That's a grounder he stabbed at, and it went into the corner. So he had his own little Billy B moment, and so okay, Chisenhall against K-Rod. Any life left in these Indians? 5-2. They need 3 runs here, or this turns back over to the Brewers. 3-3. Grounder to second base. That's 1 out. Gomes, does he have anything left in the tank here? He has been good, but he's 0 for 3 tonight. 4-5. Oh, he's going to pop another one here. 1-18, a homer. It's going to make it a 2-run ball game. That's gone. Gomes, he's killing the ball. Homer after homer. 5-3. It's not over yet. Well, they're going to pull out all the stops here. They're going to bring in Roberto Perez. Pinch hit for Johnson. Nothing in the tank. The last catcher did something. Can this catcher do it? He's got a good on-base percentage, 348. 1-6 though, a fly ball on the left, and it's going to be caught. Don't worry, the 1-6 on Chris Johnson's wasn't anything to write home about either. So last gasp here. They need a base runner. Almonte, he gets on base some. They need a guy on, and let Kipnis get up here and see if he can do some magic. 2 outs. Nobody on. 5-3. 4-6. A 1-5 would be a double. Otherwise, this ball game is over. 4-6. Need a 1-5. And it's a 12. This ball game is over. It's going to be squeezed out there by Santana. That is it. They get a run, but that's not nearly enough. 5-3 is your final. The Indians lose their king of the hill on a rather disconcerting 9th inning. They looked like they were gaining the momentum. Bottom of the 8th. 2-run triple from Carlos Santana ties the ball game, but then in the 9th, Santana, the costly error to lead it off. Then 2 quick outs for Webb, but then he walks Domingo Santana, and then Hernan Perez with the lucky shot, the boom from the little guy. 1 homer in 2015, but with basic, you take what you get. I've played basic and had pitcher home runs that you would just never imagine. So that's the way it goes, and the Indians are out. So just gonna try and clean up here a little bit. That's unfortunate for them, but I don't know. It makes this project keep going, which is interesting, and it just goes to show you, as I go ahead and turn this baby around, just goes to show you that it takes a lot to win that many in a row. So even against a team like the Brewers that in that season were not very good, they ended up selling off players. Hernan Perez, the MVP of the game. That is right, boy. So Joe Cleary asked if I play with a warm-up rule. I try to. I mean, it's really kind of tough. I mean, you're managing both teams, and sometimes the end of an inning sneaks up on you and you haven't done it. I do the best I can to try and say, okay, I'm going to warm up somebody. I try to think ahead. It seems like the natural thing to do. It seems like the only fair thing to do when it comes to baseball. But, we're all human. And sometimes you forget, and then you just do the best you can. And so Webb, he 320 is not a great reliever. Earned run average. Could have gone to Cody Allen there, I suppose. And then if he figures it out, then so there is some second guessing there from my managing. But if you run Cody Allen there, and then because I also play a rule that says my own kind of house rule is if you have, especially with basic strat, if you have a reliever run 2 games in a row, then he has to sit the next one. And obviously, in terms of closers, that is probably not a hard and fast rule in real life. I try to do it as best I can. I feel like it's the only fair way to do it. Eventually, usually teams have another guy who has a couple saves thrown in there somewhere. So, surprise ending, yeah. Well, these games, they can go and you can have a bunch of 10-0 games in a row, or thereabouts, and then you can have a bunch of one-runners or a bunch of lead changes at the end that just leave your jaw dropping. So, and we had one in the Blue Jays game, right? A walk-off by Chisenhall. So he was the hero in that one, but we're going to have to come all the way around again for them. So just to refresh the memory, it's been a while since I talked about it. It's 5 defenses of the King of the Hill will earn you the Diamond King title. Now, if we get all the way through and we cycle back around to the beginning of the order, I'm going to drop it to 4 defenses. And then if we go all the way through again, it'll be 3. It's going to get easier and easier. It was a random draw to start. I'm reseeding them based on when they fall out, so Cleveland is going to move a little farther down in the order. But, okay, so a 51-minute video thus far, and so I don't really want to add too much onto it, but knowing me, it might happen. I'll tell you what, I made that video. Sometimes you make a video that's sort of like a tutorial how to, you know, and that's kind of what these short stop videos are about. And yeah, so sometimes you make them and you're making them for yourself as much as anything. And so that's kind of what was up with that one. You know, it was about the sort of the hiccups or the snafus that can kind of get you off the rails on your projects and stuff. I think I maybe called it hang-ups or whatever. Well, I'll tell you what, the last several weeks have just been a series of hang-ups, including probably every single one of the things on that list. Whether it's just busyness, not necessarily burnout. I wasn't real burned out from anything, but sometimes you just get to that point where you put it away and, you know, it's kind of like that car that's, you know, it's the winter time and it's been maybe 3 or 4 days since you had it started up, and you go to turn that key, and at first it's like, and that's kind of what was happening with me, is kind of like you just get in that. And the last thing I had done was a second season game, and I had some stats to kind of compile from that. And so, yeah, you just get that, and you're like, I got to go get the ether and spray it in the carburetor and try to get this thing firing again, because it's he's not ready to go. And so, yeah, and I mean, it was just not only that, but just a lot. Last week was just thing after thing after thing. There was a lot of stuff going on. I'm a musician too, and so sometimes you just have things come up. I've been trying to help out a friend as much as I can the first Friday of every month with some live gigs, just some solo acoustic stuff. And, you know, that kind of thing is a little bit nerve-wracking, just because you get, you know, it's you and you alone. Fortunately, the place that I go to, they sound pretty pleased with. I didn't do take me out to the ball game, mind you. If that were the case, they might have said, "Get the heck out of here." But I did do center field, so there's I do like to throw in that one. About half of the gigs that I do. But you know, there's just it's nervous. Like I play at church as well, and you know, when you've got a band, you know, you can kind of hide some of your mistakes. You know, it's not like when you completely mess up a chord on the acoustic guitar and you're the only one there and everybody that's listening knows it. Now, they're not a big audience. Kind of a pizza shop where people are kind of coming in and out, and some people sit there and listen and eat their dinner or wait for their food and all that stuff, and that's kind of nice. But that and just a number of other things just coming up. So I've started bowling. That's like one night a week. That's tomorrow night. So Salvador says he's never played Strat, but pretty good game it looks like. I mean, it's you know, I've noticed that there are some videos that have been made by other channels. You can go watch it. ID Jester is the guy who did it. He's a good guy. He is not a fan of Strat, and he put out a video that was, I think, I don't know. I should be careful about commenting because I didn't get a chance to watch it. But I know his stance on Strat, and suffice it to say, it's still it's like if you're talking about tabletop baseball, um, your hardcore guys are going to talk about a lot of other games, but it's kind of like Stratomatic is sort of like the I don't want to say definitive. I'm looking for the right word. It's like everybody knows about it. Not everybody likes it, but it kind of gets the job done for most people. It's a lot of people like playing it head to head. I'm sure a lot of people play at head to head, and the other games I don't know if they play a lot head to head so much, but it's Strat and Atba are kind of like the big dogs, and I think it's just going to be that way until as long as there are baseball nerds being brought about, I think it's going to be the game that people kind of run to start usually. I'm saying usually because it's not. They definitely. There are pros and cons for everything. So I don't want to get into a lot of detail about it, but um, I'm not here trying to sell games for the Stratomatic company or anything. But it works for your projects. Basic strat can be really quick. Can also lead to examples like the Perez home run, which is, if you look at his card on the advanced side, I'll guarantee you he is a W from both sides of the plate. And sure enough, I'm backwards here, but those are W's. I swear the focus isn't very good at the moment. I have autofocus. Maybe I could probably have autofocus on while we are in. While I don't have the cards down, it's not going to bump around so much. But let's go ahead and see here. There you go. See W's. That's weak. So those pitcher's cards are not going to bring up homers for that guy. So that's one of the places where your advanced basic, you're going to get a little bit of fluke at times. That may be the first fluke that we've had in this series. So, and it probably won't be the last, but it simplifies a lot of things. It makes it quick. This game was a little longer just because there were some strategic decisions to make. But yeah, so that's my update. I would like to try and keep it a little bit on the short side, but excuse me, that's not my nature. So, people watching after the fact, I know that there are some people who have been here on the chat. I really appreciate you guys. Joe, Salvador, primarily. There's a lot of channels out here that are live streaming, and so some will pick this up after the fact. If you're watching this part of it, anybody who's interested in the Tenacious Golf Tour, History Maker Golf, I'm going to get back to that here one of these days. It's just, a lot of you guys get into the baseball playoffs. That might be another reason why we don't have quite as many live stream viewers tonight. I'm not looking for excuses or anything like that. It's okay. If I scheduled these, it might make a difference, but I don't. So I just go with what I have time for, and it's kind of the way it has to be. But some people are into the baseball playoffs. I haven't been watching so much of those. Football, yes. So, college, pro, that makes the weekends a little more tough to pull off anything, because you almost need a weekend to do the golf stuff. But keep on the lookout. Maybe it'll be this weekend since the Bills are on a bye. But okay. Salvador says he's never heard of History Maker Golf. So, if you want to go to the site, Play, which is PLAAY, PLAAY.com. That's another manufacturer. I'm not here again. I don't come out here to sell games, explicitly sell games for anybody. I like to try and provide information for people who come on the channel and are interested in what we're doing here. I want people to be able to go ahead and have fun with projects with sports on their tabletop. So I'm going to give you that information. Play.com. They have a lot of different types of games. They have a baseball game as well called History Maker Baseball. It's a lot. The engines are a lot different for those games than what you see with the Strat and the Atba and stuff like that. So it's some guys swear by that. Other guys like the more, you're just looking at the cards and you're getting all the results right off the card. History Maker, you're looking at a game book and kind of like cross-referencing some things. So it takes a smidge longer for History Maker Baseball, but there's some other aspects which are kind of cool with that game too. That frankly, it allows you to sort of like build a history. The other thing that Play is really neat about is they create fictional sets with all of their games. So for baseball, they have a fictional baseball league with, you can make team names whatever you want, but they try to have set teams that are kind of balanced out. Now you could shuffle them and mix them up if you want, but it lets you take guys, and that's what the Tenacious Golf Tour is. It's their fictional golf set played out on a tour. What I like about it is you get rid of all of the preconceived notions of what you think of the current players on the tour. Like, you don't have Tiger Woods, you don't have Brooks Koepka, you don't have Dustin Johnson, you don't have Patrick Reed, Matt Kuchar, whatever. Pick the guys that you like or dislike. You don't have any of that. Instead, you're going to come out there and you're going to play the game, and you get to see how these guys. Now you have a little bit of a notion of who's going to do what over the long haul, but tournament to tournament, you're going to have some dominant players win, and you're going to have some surprises, which is great. So that's what I like about it, and I think it's the same thing with the History Maker and baseball, and the fictional set with that is just, it allows you, the name kind of says it. You're creating history. You're creating your own baseball league history. The teams that you do have some level of momentum that factors in. Each game kind of gives you some perks, or if you lose, you get on a losing streak, you get maybe a detractor or two, like an issue that comes up. You might have an injury, you might have a guy go cold. It's just you'd have to play it. It's a different mechanism. Some people like that. Others like the Strat and the Atba, and the payoff pitch and all these other games. I mean to slight anybody. It's just there's only so much time. So, all right. Anything else? Okay. So there's Replay Baseball too. I haven't played that one. So but I think Earl has. So we're two guys here. This is the other thing that's kind of messed up. If you're here out for the first time, or if you've been here for a little while, but it's been a month since I really put out much. We are both named Earl. I go by Tenacious Earl because the 10 comes from the 10-team league that I started with. It was called the Tenacious Baseball League. I used 10 Acious. And when we combined our channels, I call him Tabletop Earl because this was his channel to start. He has an E at the end of his name, but he tends to do shorter projects than I do, although this Diamond King project is maybe a little more along the lines of something that you would see him do trying to have something that stays in, let's say, the 20 to 50 game range. So, all right, I am going to close it out here. Leave any comments if you've got questions about what's going on with this league. If you have any comments about life, have at it. If you have any comments about what you hear going on with my life, have at it. It's okay. No advice will be turned away. I'll read it all, whether it's good, bad, or otherwise. Anyway, so hit the like button if this is something you liked. I mean, it was a great game, great finish. I hope that's enough to get some likes here. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And there's a little bell there on your mobile device, and also if you're on the PC, that bell, if you click that, especially with your phone, like your phone will come up with a notification whenever we have a live stream going up or whenever we release a video for the first time. You'll get a notification so that you can head there and be able to take a look at it. So, good night, everybody. Milwaukee takes over the King of the Hill. They are victorious. We can put it right in here right now. Just a minute. There's a live chat. We're going to go over to this, and we're going to put the score in right there. Milwaukee wins by a score of 5-3. You can see the Brewers go right there. They're going to face the Rays up at Miller Park. The Indians go in right over here. So this is the next row around, or next time around. So that's where it's at. Until next time, just keep rolling your dice and have fun with the tabletop sports. See you soon.